The Bible teaches us that we should honour the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. But what does this mean in terms of charitable giving? Should we be giving to charities?
Do you give any money to charity?
No, I don't really give money to charity. I don't see the point. Yeah, and I always think most of the money probably goes to administration costs, so...
Yeah, that's quite a heavy proportion really, it's not efficient.
Charities aren't perfect. In fact, there's very little that is perfect. But it's estimated that 85% of charities' expenditure goes on delivering their programmes. Some, of course, will be spent on administration, on building costs and staff, but in general, these costs are minimised. As Christians, charities are one way in which we can use the resources that God has given us to ameliorate suffering, to save lives, and to give people the chance to hear the good news of Jesus, so that they can avoid eternal suffering. We can honour God with our wealth in this way.
Well, now I tend to see what you mean. I mean, if you look at the kind of amount of money that we have, it's not going to make much of a difference really in the grand scheme of things. Mind you, if I'm much richer one day perhaps, but not now.
Ultimately, cynicism should not be an excuse. Individual donations do make a difference. £5 a month, or however much we can give, might not make much of a change in terms of relative poverty, but it's the impact on absolute poverty that matters. Lives can be changed by simple gifts. The Bible tells us that God loves every single person, and therefore it seems right that we should care about individuals.
You can't guarantee, like, the people who really need the money are going to get it anyway.
Yeah, and there's a lot of corruption, especially in poor parts of the world, and then that really just makes the whole thing worse.
Yeah, I agree.
Giving is an expression of faith, so if we give with God at the heart, then we can trust that the money will be used wisely to build His kingdom. That doesn't mean giving money blindly, but taking the time to pray and seek God's will for your giving. There are many groups who have done empirical studies on how effective aid is. It's good to think about what the charity does, how effective the charity is, and what your money is actually going to. In terms of maximising your impact, you might choose to give online, as this reduces administration costs. These are practices of good stewardship. But getting so totally caught up on this probably isn't helpful. Our trust in God is key. Using our money for charitable giving is not the only way in which we can honour God with our wealth, but one way in which we can certainly make a difference. We won't all be giving the same amount or in the same proportions locally and globally, but as it says in 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 7, each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves the cheerful giver. Find something you're really passionate about, something through which you can change lives, and give generously. Individually, you might find it hard to know where you'll have the most impact, but by giving, you will have an impact.